Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to the Lynn Life. We got a special vlog for you today. Today is July 3rd, 2026, a day before our 250th anniversary of our country. Tomorrow is July 4th, and we're at Fort Stanwix in Rome, New York, a Revolutionary War fort. It was also a French and Indian War fort as well, but more information coming. We're going to tour it, so let's get going. My name is Jonathan, and I'm a caregiver for my wife Lynn, who has a permanent brain injury. Things are a bit different now, but we're doing the best that we can. Join us as we experience the Lynn Life. Fort Stanwix National Monument in Rome, New York, is a reconstruction of a crucial 18th century fort that played a key role in the French and Indian War and the American Revolution, famously known as the Fort that Never Surrendered, after successfully defending against a British siege in 1777. During this 250th anniversary, I was considering, what am I going to do special on our vlog? And it was right in my own backyard. Fort Stanwix, such an important part of our history, such an important part of the American Revolution, and it's right here. First, we're going to go through the visitor center. There's a museum here. This is a national park, so it should be interesting. I'm hoping we got some reenactors in the fort today. They should be. I know they have some special activities tomorrow for the 4th. So we're going to head in the visitor center right now. As soon as I enter the door, I'm met with this display here. More than just trade. So here's where we're located. If you can see that, that's New York State. Right there in the middle is Fort Stanwix. This is Oneida Lake. You've seen me go to Sylvan Beach before. That's right here. This is Oriskany, Battle of Oriskany. That's where that occurred. So it's right in the middle of the state. This was the area that people would travel, and that's why it was so important. You could travel north, there were waterways here. I notice on the floor, 1758. There's a timeline as we go through. This is when it was first built, in 1758, for the French and Indian War. Inside the visitor center, there are a lot of artifacts. This is an interesting one. One of the only two originals found during the archaeological investigations in North America. This match case was used by a British grenadier to light fuses on grenades. The painting above shows a grenadier wearing a match case on his leather sash. There it is. This 3D map shows that there were many forts in the same area. Fort Stanwix being right here, number 3. There was Fort Bull, which remnants of that, at least in the ground, you can see it, still exists. Fort Newport, built and destroyed in 1756. Fort Williams, number 4, 1755 to 1756. And Fort Craven, built and destroyed in 1750. Some of these would be built and destroyed immediately. This was built in 1758, and it was rebuilt in the 1970s.
About 800 of us, including the 3rd New York, were ordered to hold the fort at all costs. As we unpacked provisions and ammunition delivered by troops from Massachusetts, we heard a sentinel shout. He'd spotted the British and their Indians near the river. The enemy wasn't happy.
Artifacts. And then you got this here telling you what they are. You can see that that is an axe, that's a wine bottle. This is and right below that axe is a musket butt plate. And looks like there are buttons there. Yeah, buttons. More artifacts. You got a cannonball. You got looks like a bayonet behind that, right? Yeah, bayonet. Yeah, lead shot. That's lead shot over there. What do we got here? Gun flint. Vent pick. Gun worm. Gun lock. And a musket flintlock right there. Oops, sorry. Musket flintlock, parts of firearms. This visitor center is terrific. There's a timeline on the floor of the visitor center going from the 1600s all the way here to this one in 1796. So it really tells the story of the fort in this area and the Revolutionary War. And there it is. It's a pathway. We walk all the way around. And on the other side, we can actually enter the fort itself. Looking at it from this vantage point, it looks quite low. Truth is there is a moat, dry moat, I believe, on the other side, and you'll see as we go across, there's these wooden stakes sticking out, so it's very difficult to enter, to attack, as the British found out during the siege in 1777. All they could do is try to starve them out and surround the fort. Yeah, it says here, built on the foundations of the original 18th century fort, this reconstruction provides insight into the experiences of those who lived here. Their stories are preserved in recreated rooms, barracks, and exhibits. Their stories are told from the artifacts, documents, and evidence they left behind. This is the entrance. I remember first going into this fort in the 70s. I believe it was 1976. So this reconstruction would have been new. I remember this part. Little sentry outpost here. Let's see what this says. A small encampment out here on the outside of the fort, and some cannons to check out. They would have had gardens outside the fort as well. It's a cannon. The business end of a Revolutionary War cannon, brass. Look at that. Outside the fort, and over here, you can see is the entrance, and this is that ditch or moat or whatever you might call it. So from the outside, it looks very low. It's not very high at all. But to attack, you've got to get through the fence, the moat, and then these posts sticking out from the wall, making it difficult to scale while being shot at.
This is the only way to get across the Appalachians. This, the Columbia, the Cumberland Gap, and a couple others. Now, Native Americans do that. They taught the French. The British found out about it. So if you wanted to go from Canada to New York, this is the only way to get here. No more I-90. The French and the British are going at it for control of North America. And there's several smaller forts built in the general area that don't last long. They don't even keep the same name. And in 1758, this fort is built.
Well, I'm inside the fort, and we're greeted by a man in 18th century clothing there, talking to some kids about what happened, a little history, and I just talked to a ranger here as well. And it's a warm day. I'm real happy I'm here. It's perfect. So we're going to look around the fort, check out all the displays in this area. And I feel good. This is the place to be for the 250th anniversary of our country. I'm going to go into the artisans' quarters. It's dark in here. Wow. Wow. I assume these were woodworkers and maybe blacksmiths. Something like that. This is the area. It's a little cooler in here. That's good. So this is the artisans' quarters. There's a fireplace. In fact, they're making a wooden shovel here. So now we're going to enter the Southwest bomb-proof storeroom and siege hospital. When it was under siege, this would have been the hospital. A dark, long hallway. Bomb-proof. Oh, it's dark. Dark and dismal here, as it would have been, only lit by lanterns and candles. Wow, imagine being in here while being under siege.
Alrighty, next is the sponge rammer, because this is a sponge and that's a rammer. This is one of my favorite positions, because you clean the small flaming debris out of the cannon and you get to ram down the charge. It's also one of the most dangerous. So who wants this particular position? Alrighty, my friend, thanks for volunteering. And what is your name? Felix? Well, it's very nice to meet you, Felix. All right, Felix, I'm going to ask you to stand right there.
We've got a few more volunteers.
Face that direction. Fantastic. Very good. So let me double check. You have at least one thumb? Great. You have at least two teeth? Fantastic. You even got extra. All right. That was fantastic timing for whoever came that was. All right, keep putting it down all the way to the bottom. All right, so hold on right there. All right. So
next, after watching the ranger talk to our young visitors here about how to shoot a cannon and getting them involved, which was fun, we're going to enter the guardhouse. So let's see what this is. And I'm greeted with a cannon, a mortar actually. That's a mortar. What we got here? We got a like a bed over there. We got a quill. We got, oh, Justin found something delicious to eat. Some hardtack or whatever that is. And some peas. Yes. Guards can snack. We've got a bed. Another bed. Another bed. So this is where the guards would hang out. Yeah, there's another bed that looks like gets closed off over here. This one gets a little privacy. I was told that this barracks right here called Greg is air conditioned. So let's see what it's like. Yes. Feels a little cooler. It's actually, oh, you can fill water. You got a little water bottle filler. I could fill our water here. And, oh, look at this. A model of the fort. That's cool. So we're in the center of the fort, somewhere over in here. I think that's where we are. We entered, I think, this area here. The perimeter is a little different now as it was then. But I think this is very cool. Yeah, we entered through there, went across here, so there was something else up here originally. Yeah. There's another diorama here showing the building of the fort in 1758. They built it relatively quickly, built by the British for the French and Indian War. They have some 18th century clothing here for kids to wear. They could try them on, and then they got a mirror here. How would you look in the American Revolution? Try some clothes and see. Don't forget, take a picture.
Later,
And then there's a movie theater with a video
we were to
playing.
be relieved. Year and a half, we were free of this forsaken place.
Great little movie
As I
here,
passed through the gates, I made a
all
promise to
shot
myself
right
that
on
I
the
would never
premises.
forget my two friends.
right here within the fort.
But first, there was a war to fight.
Let me tell you something else. Artillery guys got paid more because you had to be smarter. Now I want you to look at your pants.
Just entered another area of the fort, and this is important. I remember this. This is original. This is all that remains of a fireplace from the original fort. The bricks were probably made locally. The other fireplaces in this building are reproductions. But this is the real McCoy. This is the orderly room we're about to enter. So let's walk in here and see what we got here. We got quite a step up to get in there. The Commandant's quarters. This room was originally occupied by 2 to 3 officers. It is now furnished as a Commandant Colonel Peter Gainsford's quarters, which was located in the headquarters building in 1777. This is a big step here. Look at the piece. Look at that log. It's gigantic. All right, we're gonna step out of this. Move around to the next one. There's an awful lot to see here in this fort. So we're gonna go to the officers' quarters. In here, another step up, watch your head. And here's the officers' quarters. Similar. More bunks. Living a little better out here. There's a visiting officer's lodging over here. Yeah. Junior officers' quarters. Step right in. And here's the soldiers' quarters, barracks building. Enter that. Got a few other people in there. Oh, we're going. Look around.
Oh my gosh, are these? Those are the stockings. These are the breeches. Yep,
A lot of bunks here.
here are your stockings, and here are your shoes.
And it appears that each bunk, like right here, I believe 2 people sleep there. So there's 2 in each bunk. Nice and cozy. Tells what the average soldier or private would get per day: a pound of beef, a pound of bread or flour, a cup of fresh or dried vegetables, and a pint of rum. That's it for the day. Yeah. There you go. There's some food here. This is probably better than what they would have eaten. But that is it. Yeah, basically 1 meal a day is what they'd get. That's a pound of beef before cooking. And it wasn't great because it says here, meat was shipped in barrels of brine and not considered fresh by today's standards. Brined beef or pork, and that's what you got. And here's what you got to wear: 1 regimental coat, a waistcoat, breeches, mix of linen, buckskin, or wool, a hat, 1 hat, you had 3 breeches, 2 shirts, a hunting shirt, 2 overall pants, 2 pairs of stockings, and 1 blanket. And they actually show the clothing here. There. A lot of families here today, a lot of kids, as you saw. Kids learning how to shoot a cannon. Oh, look at this. Lots of nooks and crannies in this in this fort court. Having a tough time speaking today. Let's, oh yeah. Oh, I like this. Look at that. The backside. Hidden areas of the court, of the fort. Yeah. And up here, we're going to go up there later. We're going to go up there shortly. I don't know where that goes to. According to what I just read here, artillerymen was a specialist discipline requiring knowledge of math and the use of measuring of tools to calculate trajectories of cannon and mortar. Artillery soldiers therefore received better pay and living conditions than regular soldiers, although their job was also far more dangerous. This is the artillery soldiers' bunks. So there's fewer bunks, a little bit nicer. There's their food. Doesn't look too appetizing. A sutler. Sutler was a civilian trader who acted as a link between the fort and the outside world. He traded with local American Indians, periodically taking furs to Albany in exchange for money or other goods. Soldiers and their families could purchase goods as well, but often did not have the money to do so. This must be the Sutlers area. Oh yes, it's like a store. He's a trader. Brings outside items in the fort. Yeah. Oh, fish. I got some fish hanging up over there above the table. Of course, plenty of furs over here, blankets, shovels, all kinds of things over there. And this is the missionaries' quarters. Yep. While missionaries generally went into Indian land simply with a desire to spread the word of the Christian God and to do good works, the American Revolution involved them in political missions as well. Both the Americans and the British used their missionaries in attempts to sway the Indians to one side or the other. And this is the missionaries' quarters. All right, we're gonna head up on the, they call it the ramparts. I think that's it. I think that's the correct term. Plays a, yeah, that's a defensive area as well. Ooh, cannon. We got cannon up here. Look at that. Notice these cannons. There's a little something I know about. These cannons look a little different than the ones we saw earlier. These are actually ship's cannons, which would commonly be used in forts. They weren't to be dragged all around. They weren't easily transported. They were used in forts and in ships. Way over beyond that guard tower is the visitor center we first entered. And they put that guard, that was where the lookout was. He's up in there, and he is protected. He's got little holes to look out and the shoot out. They would cut down all the trees around the fort so they could see as far as they have to. See any movement, know anybody sneaking up to you. Well, it was fun going up on the rampart, seeing all this. This is really a great facility. If you're ever in central New York, definitely stop by Fort Stanwix in Rome, New York. Justin remembers when he was in Boy Scouts actually camping here. And he's been in a lot. I haven't been here since he was young. I go by it all the time. When I was shooting television commercials and things like that, I had a lot of clients all the way around here. Glad I came in. Glad I came in for our country's 250th anniversary, because this fort played such an integral part in us gaining our independence.
I'm a soldier who would volunteer with the 3rd New York Infantry, who came and financed the fort in 1776 and 1777. We were here predominantly for the battle, which occurred in 1777, and we stayed until about 1780 when relieved by the 4th New York Regiment. Colonel Gansevoort is our leader. He's done a wonderful job. Colonel Willett is our second in command, and he's actually the gentleman who sneaks out of the fort and steals the British supplies, resulting in their losing all of their Native American assistance. As you may know, the war was as much a civil war as anything else. That many times you would find yourself fighting a brother or a cousin, and when you think they're on your side, you realize who they are, that's when you attack them.
Just had a long conversation with that colonial 18th century soldier. Very interesting man. He's actually from Louisiana. He's been coming up here for 9 years, and he does stuff in Louisiana as well. So, tremendous historian, and I love talking to him off camera about a lot of interesting things. But as I said earlier, if you're in this area, check out Fort Stanwix. Very interesting, lots of exploring, and if you have kids especially, because the kids can get involved and explore and crawl around places and stuff like that. It's a lot of cool stuff. So, hope you enjoyed it. So, be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and we'll see you next time on the Lynn Line.